Hey everybody, Brickhouse here with another video, and let's meet the new mayor of Chicago. This is from the Daily Mail, and you thought Lori Lightfoot was a nightmare. Chicago's new woke mayor is sworn in and vows to tax the rich and big business to pay for his progressive agenda. Shocker! Companies are already vowing to leave Chicago over additional taxes promised by its new mayor, a progressive tasked with addressing the city's dwindling image under predecessor Lori Lightfoot. I didn't think anybody could be any worse than Mayor Lightfoot. Mayor Beetlejuice. But obviously, there is. Sworn in early Monday, Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson beat out more moderate Chicago Schools CEO Paul Vallas earlier this month to earn the hallowed spot, something business leaders like CME Group Inc. are already peeved about. Appearing on a podcast Sunday, the chief executive of the country's foremost financial derivatives exchange, Terry Duffy, voiced his distaste over additional taxes planned by the ex-union organizer, who was endorsed by Bernie Sanders. Intended to dig the city out of its current financial hole, the increases are aimed at high earners and companies headquartered in the Windy City, whom, as CME is already proving, are likely to put up a political fight. If I was you, I would get the hell out of Chicago. In my opinion only, Chicago is going to become as bad as the shithole San Francisco. Apart from the array of tax increases, Johnson, a relative unknown in a heated mayoral race, has his hands full after taking the reins Monday, facing an influx of migrants in need of shelter and summer months that historically breed violent crime. Speaking to the Old Lots podcast about 24 hours before the ceremony, that will see the former Chicago school teacher succeed his similarly aligned predecessor. Duffy made it clear his firm is willing to join several businesses like Tyson, Caterpillar, and Boeing in relocating if Johnson does not heed his and others' warnings. I got news for you. He won't. Mr. Johnson has no legal authority to impose a transaction tax on my business, said Duffy, adding that the relatively green politician should focus on the gargantuan task of fighting the city's crime epidemic instead of putting the squeeze on businesses. What he's going to do, though, is he's going to say these taxes are going to help hire more cops to fight crime. And also his SJW stuff, too. Duffy, whose firm is worth an estimated $66 billion and is responsible for both Chicago and New York's mercantile exchanges, sarcastically sniped Johnson should not get too bogged down on how he's going to short-term think. The slipshod plans. He added of Johnson, who for the past 4 years served as a commissioner in crime-ridden Cook County, he's going to raise taxes on certain people in order to fit his agenda. That's what liberal progressives always do. We need to tax the rich. We need to tax the wealthy. Problem is, the rich and the wealthy aren't making a lot of money in income. They're making it in investments. That aside, Johnson already has a full agenda ahead of himself Monday after arriving at the Mercantile Clark Magnet School in Austin to be inaugurated, with the ceremony kicking off at 10:30 this morning. At that point, the Democrat, accompanied by a tight security detail, made his way to UIC's Credit Union One Arena, where Lightfoot and others were in attendance. Having beat out Lightfoot and a host of other less progressive Democrats earlier in the month, Johnson takes the reins as his predecessor continues to face ire from fed-up citizens over the city's current state, which deteriorated during the pandemic to crisis levels and has since failed to recover. This dude here is going to continue the same crap that Lori Lightfoot put in place. And I tell you, the people of Chicago who voted for this guy, you're going to get what you freaking deserve. A Officials from both parties have slammed lawlessness seen in the city under Lightfoot after she made the controversial decision to slash $59 million from the Chicago Police Department budget in 2020 during protests for Defund the Police, a movement that Johnson supports. What I tell you. Lightfoot, meanwhile, instead of addressing the city's notorious gun violence, made it a point during her time in office to give herself a 5% raise despite having a salary well over $200,000. She also raised salary thresholds for not only her position, but the city clerk and treasurer as well, shortly after performing an abrupt about-face on the Defund the Police policy she campaigned on in August of 2021, amid increasing crime and walkouts by the city's peace officers. Compounding the unrest at the time, there were riots by BLM and Defund the Police supporters, movements that both Lightfoot and more recently Johnson had touted during their respective campaigns. So, as everybody can see, meet the new boss, same as, if not worse than, the old boss. And I know I have not said this on any videos on my channel as of yet, but I'm going to say it right now. Increasing taxes on the wealthy and on corporations are not going to do any good. They're not. What needs to have happen, and this isn't just for the city of Chicago, this is for the entire state of Illinois. There's going to come a reckoning where there's going to have to be an overhaul of everybody in state government and in city government, where new blood comes in that is not going to be for big government, but is going to be in support of the people. And someday it'll come. When that someday is, I don't know. But someday it'll come. There will be a reckoning. There will be an overhaul, and you will see people starting to get elected into state government, into city government, into local governments that are going to be for the people, instead of consolidating power and doing things that are not benefiting people, like, let's raise taxes. Now, you may agree with me, you may not agree with me, but comment down below. Tell me what you think, especially if you live here in the great state of Illinois. If you live in the city of Chicago. Share your opinion. Tell me what you think. What do you think should happen here with the city of Chicago? With the state of Illinois and our local leaders. If you would, please like this video, subscribe, share if you haven't, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, hit the notification bell to get notified when my content is uploaded on a daily basis to YouTube here on YouTube, and to Rumble, and also over on Odyssey. And as always, I thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you on the next video.